What do you think the Sky would have to give up to get her? And is it worth it?
Well, for one, the number three overall pick is definitely in consideration, and I understand why some fans would want it to be, but the WNBA is unlike any other league as far as sports league. You're unless you have a run like the Aces where you draft so many consecutive number one picks, you're never really gonna be in that championship window building through the draft. That's just not really how it works in this league, and it hasn't for a very long time, unless you have that type of pedigree, which we've only really seen a couple of times, whether it be the Sparks or it be the Aces. I mean, or Minnesota. I mean, that's really it over the last 20 plus years. So, I understand the hesitation behind wanting to package up another deal. I understand the trauma after just sending Kai away, but you have to look at it like this. I understand Jeff Pagliacca said that the Sky were prioritizing wings and length in the draft, but then again, are any of these wings or the length that they have gonna, immediately apply positive feedback more than Jewell Loyd could? And I don't see that right now, and I wouldn't see that for another, 2 to 3 years. That number three pick, possibly going to be AZ Footer out of Connecticut. I have my own concerns about injury history. Number three also could go elsewhere. I mean, they could go and draft. I mean, I've seen a lot of different drafts, but I really would like, Tahina Paopao out of South Carolina. That's another point guard. If you feel like you don't want to, give up the compensation for Jewel, I feel like that's another young, good point guard that is a dual threat on both sides. She's shooting a career high three, 47% this year. She's not leading the SEC after she was last year, even though she's shooting higher than she did last year. So I think that's another point guard that could be in the mix if you don't really want to give up those draft picks. But then again, we're talking about Jewel Loyd here. I feel like we're in December. We're still a month and change out from actual free agency starting. Trust me, I don't think the asking price is going to be as high as it would be for Clay Copper, considering the circumstances around why she's leaving. Right now, I would say the Jewel Loyd and her camp kind of has the leverage. So I'm not thinking it's going to be some exorbitant haul like it was for Phoenix getting Kyle.
Yeah. The number three pick is definitely a point of contention in the chat here as well. I know we're running out of time. Steven, real quick, are you comfortable giving up that number three pick for Jewell Loyd?
I am. And I am because there's no guarantee that whoever it is you decide to choose at the number three pick turns out to be who Jewell Loyd is. And to Christian's point, you also don't guarantee that that player is going to come in and have the type of impact in your team's context that the Chicago Sky are looking to have. Um, if we're bringing up conversations and things that Jeff Pagliacca has said, in addition to Tyler Marsh, before I get to Marsh, Jeff said they plan on winning while Angel and Camila are on their rookie contracts. Adding another rookie that you have to develop skill-wise and also get experience with on the WNBA level, though it might help, it's not going to help in the same way that it would if you added Jewell Loyd to your context. And if I now bring Tyler Marsh's comments into the conversation from his opening presser with the franchise, he overemphasized shooting. And you can speak to the numbers and all of that, but one thing that Jewell Loyd is, and a reason why she garners the attention that she does, is because she's such a great shooter and such a great scorer. She can be used in ways that she hasn't been seen to have been used in recent memory with the Seattle Storm when she's in the Chicago Sky context, because Angel and Camila can not only score, but they can also make plays for other people. And they're also good screeners off the ball. They leave a little bit more to be desired on the ball at this moment in time. But again, that's where the accountability part that I spoke to earlier would come into play. You add Jewell to this team, that instantly gives them more credibility to be a playoff team next season, and a playoff team that might potentially flirt with home court advantage depending on how they do in free agency around if they make that trade. So there's a lot of moving parts, but when you have an opportunity to add a player the skill level of Jewell Loyd and for the attention that she would receive and how that would benefit everybody else on the roster, including the coaching staff and the fans, you do it.
We all silly like the mayor.